After Namco's mighty success with 1995's Tekken on the PlayStation, they swiftly followed up with a sequel just 1 year later in 1996. This time, Heihachi Mishima has returned, and Kazuya would be this second entry's main villain. Quite a risky move. That's like if in Mortal Kombat 2, Shang Tsung was the new protagonist and Liu Kang the final boss. But with the crazy Mishima family, it only makes sense looking back on it today. But outside of a character swap, could Tekken 2 excel above its predecessor and propel the franchise into fighting game stardom? These videos are designed as a series here on Don Critic. If you haven't watched the previous episode covering the first game, then I'll leave a link to that in the comments below. Enjoy! Tekken 2 is a straight up sequel to the first game. In the original, Kazuya Mishima, son of the legendary boss of the Mishima Zaibatsu organization, Heihachi Mishima, wins his father's King of the Iron Fist tournament and defeats Heihachi. Kazuya throws his father off a cliff, a move that Heihachi did to Kazuya when he was younger. The Mishima family is messed up. In Tekken 2, Heihachi Mishima becomes the main protagonist, and Kazuya the main villain, with the pair switching roles. Tekken 2 begins with a retro 3D intro cutscene that still blows me away. Like, look at the hair on Nina, that is so cool and so 90s, so retro, I love it. And in this cutscene we see that Heihachi, 2 years later, he climbs up out the mountain that he was thrown off in the last game. This guy has some unbreakable willpower, and the lightning is flashing in the background. God, I love this intro, it's so cool. He is out for revenge against his son, who has since taken over his corrupt organization and fallen into darkness himself, being tainted by the devil gene that lurks within him. Kazuya has thus made many enemies as the new head of the Mishima Zaibatsu, and with word of his father back and plotting against him, Kazuya hosts a new King of the Iron Fist tournament to hopefully rid himself of any opposition. Now, Tekken 2 comes with a staggering 25 playable fighters, which was an extremely large roster for a fighting game in the mid-90s. 18 of them are all of the returning characters from the first game. They include Heihachi Mishima, King, Paul Phoenix, Martial Law, Jack, Nina Williams, Michelle Chang, Yoshimitsu, Li Chaolan, Anna Williams, Ganryu, Armor King, Kunamitsu, Prototype Jack, Wang Jinrei, Kuma, Kazuya Mishima, and Devil. The final two being the game's sub and final boss in the arcade mode. The first 8 are in the starting roster, and the following 8 are rivals that when you defeat in the arcade mode, you'll unlock them to play. For new characters, Tekken 2 comes with 7. The 2 on the starting roster are Jackie Chan's police story inspired Lei Wulong, a comical and light-hearted Chinese police officer who joins the second tournament to crush Kazuya's organization with the law. And the second is Jun Kazuma, a wildlife preservationist who joins the tournament to stop Kazuya's illegal animal smuggling operations. But she somehow becomes pregnant with Kazuya's child during this game, and that leads into Tekken 3, but that's a story for a whole nother video. The 2 new sub-boss fighters are Baek Do-san, a Taekwondo champion and rival to Martial Law, and Bruce Irvin, an American Muay Thai mercenary who works for Kazuya. You fight him in Lei Wulong's arcade run. The other 3 characters are secret characters. There's Angel, who is a palette swap of Devil and canonically is trying to save Kazuya from the malicious devil gene that is corrupting him. Roger is a genetically modified boxing kangaroo and one of Kazuya's animal experiments. He wasn't initially on the roster of Tekken 2, but a simple side project by one of the developers. However, the team liked it so much that they added Roger in. And the 25th character is Alex, a palette swap for Roger. Alex is a mixture of kangaroo DNA and dinosaur DNA sourced from fossilised insects to create this wrestling raptor. A very cool inclusion. Tekken 2's roster is one of the all-time best as far as 90s fighters goes. You've got a lot of variety here. Characters inspired by martial artists such as Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. You've got a lot of American-styled fighters like Paul Phoenix and Bruce Irvin. You've got a lot of animal-styled fighters like Kuma, Alex and Roger. Tekken 2's gameplay was heavily worked upon since the original, which was still a little clunky in its day. Tekken 2's combat is more smoother in feel and animation, with a real weight behind the action. The whole cast got expanded move lists that could now be viewed within the game. The characters have had larger polygon counts, giving the cast more rounder and bolder models. The backgrounds for the stages were crisper and detailed than the first game, and the music accompanying each stage is epic and comes with this dark, ominous feel. I specifically love Yoshimitsu's theme.
Round fight! Yeah!
Tekken 2 was also the first in the series to splash out with extra modes. You've got your staple arcade and 2-player versus modes for sure, but for extra content there is a practice mode to test your skills with each fighter, one of the earliest fighting games to have such a mode, a time attack mode that times you as you play through the roster, survival mode that has you go through the roster on just one life, and team battle mode, which is my favourite extra mode to play, which has you pick up to 8 fighters on a team and battle your opponent, with each defeat then bringing in the next fighter on either team. It's a great mode to pour hours and hours into, getting to play as lots of your favourite characters in a single match. So you've conquered 7 fighters on the roster, defeated your character's rival as the 8th battle, and then it's on to Kazuya himself in his fancy suit, who has some deadly powerful combos. After you defeat Kazuya, you'll face the 10th fighter and the true villain, Devil, an entity bent on possessing Kazuya and can fire laser beams from his face. This is a challenging 2-part final boss. It's best to go for the strike when Devil sets up to do his laser move, which then leaves him open for a few seconds. Heihachi defeats Kazuya and his devil form, and in his ending he takes his son and throws him into a volcano and proceeds to fly away hanging onto a helicopter. How's that for revenge? Every character in the game gets their own arcade ending, a short FMV cutscene that usually shows what they have done after winning the tournament. Playing through as the characters, I did notice that a lot of them actually don't show much, and they're a bit lackluster and forgettable. Like Paul Phoenix, who is one of my favourite on the roster, all his ending has him do is punch a boulder that falls on the road so that he can carry on driving. That's it. Law does a backflip in his ending. Lei Wulong's ending for a new character literally just shows him shooting some targets. Jun Kazuma's ending, which I thought would introduce her relationship with Kazuya, just has her get off a bus and is greeted by animals like she's Snow White or something. A lot of these endings just don't really add anything or even tell the player much about the characters. The best ones are Heihachi's, Nina's as she confronts Anna in her ending, her sister, and lets her pass at her father's grave. The two are rivals. King's as it shows the struggle back at the orphanage that he has, and my favourite ending is Kazuya's as it shows an alternate version of the ending devil boss fight in which Heihachi protects his son from the villain, to which Kazuya just grabs Heihachi and then forcibly uses him as a shield to get close enough to Devil that he can sucker punch him and just tosses his father aside. It's quite a funny ending that made me smile and has good action. Tekken 2 was a hallmark sequel and would become a commercial success, outselling the original game with over 40,000 arcade units and near 6 million PlayStation copies sold in its lifetime. It had smoother and more fluid combat, sharper looking character models, more playable fighters, an unsettling memorable aesthetic, and a wealth of options in game modes that made it one of the best fighting games in its day and still worth going back Zaibatsu today to enjoy its 90s aspects. For that, I'm giving Tekken 2 a high rating from me of an A for awesome. This is certainly one of my favourite fighting games for the PlayStation 1, and it was such a step up from the original game. Have you played this one? What did you think? Let me know in the comments below, and stay tuned as we'll be diving soon into Tekken 3, the final entry on the PlayStation 1. Thanks all so much for the support and taking the time to watch my content. It is really appreciated. If you want to follow my Tekken series, Devil May Cry, or other videos like these, then I'll leave links down below and you can hit subscribe so you never miss a future episode. Until then, take care and have a good day.
You win. Talk!